Okay, as we promised, talking a bit about Stair to Care, which is coming up this Sunday, and you can get involved, and we'll tell you a bit about that a little bit. Actually, saw that on the weather. But Adrian Tracy from the Tiger Cats is here and involved too, and it surprised me a little bit. My usual question is, so how did you get involved in this? Because athletes are involved in a lot of stuff and can be, have to be sort of choosy what you do out there. But what's your tie into all this?
I have asthma. So when the team approached me about this event, it was just a perfect match for me to speak about asthma and bring awareness to lung conditions and then also get involved in it as well as far as the Stair to Care.
Okay, and I got to ask you about this. A little surprising, as I mentioned, with asthma. You don't expect athletics and asthma to mix all that well, especially at the professional level. But what have you been able to do to compensate?
I think it started when I was young. My mom was really informed on my condition, and she therefore informed me. And just knowing what would be the triggers that would cause my asthma to flare up and then kind of be in preventative mode for that allowed me to keep those under control and excel at, the athletics that I chose to do.
Now, can you give the audience any kind of tips of how you are able to perform at that high level? Because a lot of people say, well, I can't do it because I have asthma, but you may be able to take away some of their excuses.
Right. I think the biggest thing is you just got to learn to control your breathing. Sometimes, especially for me, when I feel an attack coming, my chest will start to get tight. I start to get a little bit anxious and want to breathe more to get more into my lungs. But the thing is that you want to control your breathing. Nice, calm, deep breaths. Calm your body, soothe your body. And then if you have an inhaler on hand, that's also an awesome way to prevent any further severe issues in asthma.
And you have that, I presume, on the sidelines?
Of course.
And that doesn't get you into any problems as far as medications and things like that?
No, sir, not at all. Every year, we're required to do medical exams, and that's one of the things I always list is that I have asthma and I also use an inhaler.
Okay, that's a great tip. So pass that along to your budding superstar athletes or those who just want to be a weekend warrior who say, well, I can't do it because, well, now you've taken away the idea here. So just, okay, let's talk about the Tiger Cats. We got a big game coming up, team 6 and 7. Certainly an up and down kind of a season. You've been here around long enough to know that it's not what people had expected this year. So what's the feeling in around the dressing room right now with you guys?
It's not what we expected either. We don't ever go out there hoping to be an average team. We want to go out there and put on a good performance for not only ourselves but for the fans that come out there and support us. So in that regard, we're a little disappointed, but we're never down on ourselves. Our coaching staff is always upbeat and positive and talking about the next opportunity that we have, and that'll be Calgary coming up this Saturday, and so we're looking forward to that opportunity.
Speaking of Calgary, the best team in the CFL just happens to be landing in town on the weekend, so that's going to be a big thing. You don't want to go 6 and 8. You've started some preparations for it already. How do you approach this game as far as what you can do?
We're definitely excited. Calgary is the best in the CFL right now, record-wise, and a lot of people would say talent-wise, but we feel like we are as well. There's a lot of things that we're happy about, that we're proud about, that we want to build upon, and our record may not show it, but like I said, in that locker room, we believe that we are.
Now, there's been a number of injured players, and who knows if they're going to be back yet. I guess it's a little early to tell just yet exactly what's going to happen, but the others who have come in behind, are you fairly confident with them?
Of course we are. We just trust our coaches and those scouters that go out there and put these players in a position. I myself was one of them, and I'm glad that they had the faith in me and allowed me to take advantage of that opportunity to come out here and play and then evolve into a starting role. So I definitely have confidence in those guys. I know that they'll put their best foot forward and be prepared when we go out there on Saturday. And
what about you? A team that's had a kind of an average year, but you've had a better than average year. You're doing pretty good. What's your year been like?
Statistic-wise, I guess you could say it's been pretty good, but I bring a lot more to the table than that. So going into these last few games, what I want to focus on is being consistent with my play, but also being a leader, being more vocal, and getting the guys on one page so we can go out there in these last few weeks and put our best foot forward in regards to a playoff run.
And because you have the statistics, you can do that now, right?
It doesn't hurt. It definitely helps.
That's right. You couldn't come up with a smart ass, but now that you can do the stuff, you can do it, right?
Right. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.